Peace, love, and light, tribe. What's going on? It is your girl Crystal, the raw spiritual guru, coming through, and I am talking about the deity Thoth, or Tehuti as I call him. Tehuti, I worked with Tehuti in the month of June, and I'm going to be talking about my experience. And if you wanted to work with Tehuti, how you could work with Tehuti, this powerful ancient deity, thrice born, okay, and along with Tehuti today, we have my yacht. So when I had built the altar for Tehuti, I just allowed my yacht to be on Tehuti altar. Okay. But at the end of the day, let's talk about Tehuti. So first and foremost, if this is your first time coming through, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for returning. To all, I thank you for your time and your energy. You could be anywhere, but you're here with me today. And for that, give thanks. So, um, I have some notes. Well, I'm going to be just talking in general, about Tahuti, about my experience, and la 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 la, and blah blah blah. so, Tahoot, I actually going to show you this calendar that I got, so I could put it to the side. So, I got this calendar of the Netaru from the All Seer All Set organization, and Tahuti highlighted June. So let me just put it right here for you. Can you see? All right. So I actually already have a calendar, but I always try to keep one of these calendars as well in stock when I'm able to get one. For a while, they didn't have these like the past couple years. So when I see them, I get them. And I'll tell you the story how I ended up working with Tehuti in June because it wasn't really planned either. Um, but Tehuti or Thoth or Hermes, whatever name you know him by, is a very powerful ancient deity. Um, he was deified, okay, because of the wisdom and the knowledge that he gained. People deified Tehuti. And working with Tehuti has been a very powerful experience. I worked with a lot of the Netaru in the past, and Tehuti, this was my first time working with Tehuti. So I'm just going to tell you what you need to know about Tehuti first, and then I'm going to give you some tips as well as my experience. All right. So Tehuti, Thoth, he rules the planet Jupiter. His day is Thursday. His colors are blue and white. His number is 8. That's my number. um, the crystals to use for Tahuti is yellow sapphire, lapis lazuli, carnelian, golden pyrite. The time of year you could work with Tahuti is during the sidereal full moon in Sagittarius. The herbs you could use for Tahuti is anise, blue lotus, and dill. You could burn these herbs or just replace them on the altar for Tahuti. The oils and incense that you could use for Tahuti is frankincense and myrrh, sweet almond, and Egyptian musk. Tahuti likes blue candles. It helps to connect to the light of the upper world. Blue or white candles. White candles are universal, but when I worked with Tahuti, I used the blue candle. But the blue candle helps to connect to the light of the upper world. Some offerings that you can give to Tahuti is bread. Tahuti loves homemade bread, okay? Wines, water, the incense. You can give plants or flowers if you choose. When you do food offerings with any deity or spiritual figure, you don't want to leave open food on your altar surpass 24 hours. So let's just say if you wanted to share a meal with the deity, right? So if which I've done, I've shared a meal with Tahuti. I sat down, shared a meal, but I wouldn't let it be on my altar for it, even 24 hours. Like, I'll probably let it be on my altar overnight, and then I'll take care of it in the rising. But some of the deities do actually like you to sit down and share the meal with them. So whatever meal you're eating, just make a side plate for the deity that you're working with, and you give that to the deity as an offering. But you never want to leave it on your altar to pass 24 hours. So for example, like if you was to give the deities wine, if you gave them a cup of wine, then you would have to basically like refresh the wine every couple days. I personally, 24 hours is just my rule of thumb in general. But if you gave them the bottle of wine and didn't really open it, then and placed it on their altar, then the bottle of wine could stay on the altar until you the duration of you working with that deity, as well as water, like unopened water bottles and things like that. Um, you can also give the deity a pen as an offering as well, because this is the deity of wisdom, of knowledge. All right, so let's get back to the tips. So some of the mantras or hekus. The spiritual mantra for working with Tehuti is Hung. So Hung. Hung. And the planetary mantra for working with Tehuti is Ung, Grain, Green, Grong. And with these mantras, you'll face the correct direction. So if you was working with the spiritual mantra, you'll face the spiritual direction, which is west. And if you were working with the planetary mantra, you'll face the planetary direction, which is southeast. Um, now, okay, my apologies, my apologies. So it's the opposite. So southeast is the spiritual way, and then the planetary way is west. All right, so southeast is you'll face the direction of southeast for meditations and rituals for spiritual guidance if you wanted to work with Tahuti. And you'll face the direction of west when you wanted to perform rituals for like worldly things, the mundane life goals, meditation for gaining mundane favor, uh, planetary favor, life favor right now. Okay. Um, So if you don't know, the Kemetic therapeutic way is that you heal through mantras. So you heal through chanting these. So you would chant these mantras if you wanted to work with Tahuti spiritually or planetary. So I personally worked with Tahuti planetary. At first it was going to be spiritually, but when I started, I heard that I should just do planetary. So I just went with what I heard. Okay, so Tahuti, I call him Tahoot. You could call Tahuti Thoth or Hermes. But Tahuti is the deity of wisdom and knowledge. So when you work with Tahuti, Tahuti likes to see personal growth, okay? And he likes to see that you are actually putting forth effort to gain knowledge, research, and trust yourself with gaining the knowledge. Okay, Tahuti is able to come to you when you need knowledge or you need counsel on something. You can also use Tahuti to help you with your magic because he is a deity of magic as well. Okay. He's a deity of wisdom, right? So he works with the system of writing, the development of science, the judgment of the dead. Okay, he's heavily associated with these things, the art of magic. Tahuti also gives you a way to not taste death. So Tahuti has secrets for you to not taste death as well. And I'll talk about that in a second. Um, so Tahuti again is the wisdom faculty. So he deals with science, intelligence, math formulas, elders, scrying, scribing, the highest level of priest or priestess, the highest ranking of judges and lawyers. Okay. He represents the oracle being directly to the divine supreme force. Okay. So it's really four top things, which is the oracle, the sages, the seers, and the prophets, right? And back in the day, we people used to go to one of these four to gain knowledge, but society no longer uses this system as a whole. Um, so it's a lot of, they're near and few, right? These oracles, sages, priests, prophets are near and few, right? But to work with Tehuti, you have to be worthy to work with Tehuti. You can't just say, "Oh, I want to work with Thoth," even though people do that, but it's kind of like a forced thing, right? When people do that. Like, so if you felt like Tahuti was calling you to work with him, then go by your intuition and figure out how you could work with this deity. But Tahuti isn't just a deity you could just pick up and work with, because he is a higher level sage. Like Tahuti is up there, okay? Um, he a higher level seer. So, um, he calls on true diviners, seers, oracles, right? Seers that see the things and it happens, one who can go long periods of times without sex or a partner and it doesn't affect them. The ability to not be affected by emotionalism and sensations, okay? A solitary type of energy. Um, Someone that have a lot of integrity and a message to say. Like, he is a true diviner and he wants to make sure that you also are a true diviners. Um, so that's not like a easy thing for one to become. Like, you have to really have a lot of self-discipline within self to be a true diviner, someone that really can abstain from sex or partners for a long period of time, someone that is really like within, go within, open to learning, open to growing, to gaining knowledge. Like, you have to really be like all like vegan, really. Like, if you're gonna work with this deity, like, you have to eat whole foods, natural foods, a clean diet, real life, like almost a raw vegan when you work with Tahuti. Like, I worked with my yacht last year, and she was like basically a clean eating life. Like, it was, I'm a vegan already, but she was just like straight clean eating, like no snacks, no, you had to eat whole foods. Tahuti is similar, okay? Whole foods. So, you have to also be comfortable to sit in the darkness when you work with Tahuti. You have to master the darkness, okay? So, no candlelight, no nothing, pitch black, and say your mantra to work with this deity. Anytime you do the mantras, like, you have to be very cleansed and clean. So before you even think about sitting down with this deity and working, any deity really, but before you even sit down and think about working with a deity and you're gonna say their mantras to connect with them on, a more personal level, you need to make sure you take a bath or a shower to cleanse the energies off of you for the day and show up cleansed for this deity. And when I came, I wore my all linen. So I made some linen pants. I had a linen shirt on and then a linen hair wrap, because linen material is very important. So even this cloth right here, this was his altar, and this is a linen cloth as well. So linen in general is like a 600 frequency. So when you wear certain materials, the frequency matter. Don't wear polyester at all because it brings your frequency down zero or below. Cotton is a 60% frequency. So wool is a great frequency of 600, as well as linen is a great frequency of 600. So when I showed up to work with the deity, I personally wore all linen. The tablecloth is linen. Okay. So that's me. You do as you will. I'm just giving you some tips because you want to be in your highest energy when you work with this deity. So you need to master the darkness. You definitely need to meditate. You need to learn how to still your mind and um, not go with the first pictorial images that you see, right? So when you meditate, don't go with the first message you see, but like try to move past that in your meditation. So like try to train your mind to move past that first initial message so you can see the secondary message. And the secondary message is the message that is for you. Okay. Um and also, because Tehuti like is this powerful deity, like he connects with people that he sees in a higher form, a oracle or seer, right? So if you was chosen to work with this deity, um, remember as an oracle or a seer that it is your job to give the message, but it's up to the person to do the legwork with the information that they receive, right? Um, you give the person the clearest vision, but not the root. And like I said, seers are more people that have like a more clean diet, fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, like real clean eating, like no meats, like clean eating. Okay. Let me see anything else. So, for example, if you was like, how do I get to the Tahuti level, right? How do I get to the Tahuti level? Ask, what do one have to do to get to the level of being a sage? What meditations, trainings, you have to eat right. You have to practice overriding emotionalism and sensationalism. You have to be sexual abstinence. You have to learn how to still your thoughts. You have to learn how to listen. Understand that can be wisdom with patience and active listening is important. The word Tahuti means to eliminate fear, doubt, worry, emotionalism, and to listen to the word and to make sure that you are in right energy to carry yourself in a certain way, right? All right, so I'm gonna put this aside now and just talk to y'all. Oh, this is gonna be a long. All right, I'm gonna try and make this 30 minutes or less. All right, so this is my experience, and I'm talking to y'all. So, as I said, when I worked with Tehuti, so this was the original altar. So I'm not gonna move my camera, but so these are lapis lazuli and carnelian crystals, and then I put some real cowrie shells around it. So Tahuti place was basically right here in the west, okay, of my altar, and my yacht is his partner. So I put her right here. So I allowed them both to be on the altar together. When I had the altar for Tahuti built, behind him I had an aloe plant. And then I had a bottle of water, and I had a bottle of wine for Tehuti, and I have his pen right here as well. And I also put fresh fruit on Tehuti altar, right? So I didn't bring like cherries or strawberries, but it was more like oranges, peaches, and things like that. And I would interchange it every couple of days, right? So I will show up in my linen, and some days I will do the mantras, sit in darkness, and just do a meditation with Tahuti. And then some days I was unable to do that. Now, Tahuti day is Thursdays. I don't know the exact time of day that Tahuti is in, that you could work with him any other day, but his days was Thursday. And because I was called to work with Tahuti in June, as you can see, Tahuti was in. So when the deity is in for the month, you could work with the deity at any time because they're in for this total cycle of the month. So it don't always have to be a Thursday. It could be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because this is the month that this deity is in session. So I worked with Tehuti in June, and I attempted to do a 21 day. I think I did 19 just because of my work schedule and things like that. But I am still actively working with Tehuti on Thursdays, right? Um, After I was working with him the month of June, I just really appreciate the energy and the knowledge I gained working with this deity. So when I worked with Tahuti on the days that I didn't do like my meditation. What I would do is like I'll come share a meal, or I'll make some tea. Like whatever tea I was drinking, I'll make him and my yacht some tea, because since I had my yacht on the altar, I was like I can't not like not, you know what I'm saying? I can't leave the deity hanging, so I had to give them both some tea, and I'll just basically chat with the deities and give them an offering, either like a plate of food or tea. And what I would do is like I would write down what I wanted to work on and journal. So I would journal, write down what it is I wanted to work on, how my day was, or what I accomplished for that day. And um, and then I will pull an oracle card from my medicine woman deck and my soul journey deck. So I always will pull an oracle card to see what additional messages Tahuti possibly had for me. Um, I try to make it a point each day to listen to Emerald Tablets. So the Billy Carson Emerald Tablets, they have it on YouTube. So I try to make it a point to listen to that a couple times of the day. Excuse me, like a period of, like I'll say up to an hour of the day. And I try to listen to the harmonica as well, a couple, for an hour of the day, right? So I did try to incorporate different teachings of Tahuti, because Tahuti is thrice born. Like Tahuti, Emerald Tablets show Tahuti from the form of Kemet, and even within the Emerald Tablets, he was just talking about how he was this powerful being that became deified, right? So, and then Hermetica talk about Tahuti in a different way, right? So Hermes was the last incarnation of Tahuti, but within the Emerald Tablets, it gives you a lot of gems. Like you should own the book, but you should also listen to the audio for real. Like it tells you how you could live forever if you wanted to. Like it's a practice that you could do. You have to do it. It's a way that you could connect with Tahuti. But like I said, if you're not even on that higher plane to even try to do the way he tell you in the Emerald Tablets, don't even try, because then you're gonna waste your chance to work with this deity, and he will not allow you to try to connect with him again. Um, I personally didn't do any of them yet. I do plan on doing like the some of the rituals within Emerald Tablets, but I haven't done any yet. Um, how I became, how I started to work with Tahuti, I'm just really like in tune with the ancient deities in general. If you never seen one of my videos with my wallpaper, like I have Tahuti, Osir, and Osset, and a big against my wall, right? And then I just bought another big one too, and it got like a lot of other of the deities. But I'll say Tehuti got my attention last year around September. So 2023 September is when Tehuti started being more aware. Like I started being more aware of Tehuti presence, right? Like I said, I worked with all the deities, but mostly all the deities, like the main Kemetic deities on, the Tree of Life. But when like after I was going through a cycle or whatever, and Tahuti grabbed my attention, and I started listening to Emerald Tablets. So I started listening to Emerald Tablets as much as I could, and Tahuti presence guided me to become a shaman. So if you don't know, I'm a shaman as well too. So Tahuti presence guided me to become a shaman, right? Prior to me even being more aware of Tahuti, I knew who Tahuti was, and I was like, "Ooh, Tahuti is a powerful sage." You know what I'm saying? Like, so prior to me being aware of Tahuti, I wasn't even really thinking of becoming a shaman, but things just happened in my life that just happened. I was listening to No Eyes Vision book, and she's a shaman. She was talking about like what's going on with different predictions and things like that. And then here come the quest of me becoming a shaman, right? So, um, it was a 6 month program I did to become a shaman, right? So initially it was a couple thousand. It was like over 10,000. But I was like, Tahuti, if I'm supposed to do this, please allow me to be able to make a way and afford it. And I was able to afford it. Things happen. I was able to afford it. So I did that program, right? But it's wild how life works because during me becoming a shaman, um, I wasn't really getting like a lot more messages. It was more so for me to learn the craft to become a shaman, right? But I distracted myself, so I started dating someone within that time frame, and I'm gonna say it was a distraction. I mean, because I was starting to like the person, but then I was becoming distracted off of my shamanism life, and I had to really pay attention to the medicine that I was learning. So, fast forward to when I was about to graduate or whatever. I was like, you know what? I might have to, eliminate this distraction because it's not really servicing my highest good, unfortunately, um, and I need to like hyper focus on finishing my shaman life strong. So I did that. I had to let that situation go. It wasn't easy for me, but I had to let the situation go. And literally the day after I had to let the situation go, I was at one of my events, right? So I have a metaphysical shop as well. I sell handmade copper and crystal jewelry. So this is actually a Tehuti pendant that I made. While I made this for Tehuti, but I told Tehuti I was going to wear the pendant as well. So every time I worked with Tehuti, I would wear the pendant and then place it back on the altar for Tehuti once I was done. But once I wasn't like this altar was really supposed to be dissolved, but I told you like I'm still kind of working with him on his day, so um, I told him that I'm going to just be wearing a pendant. But so literally the day after I had to let the situation go, I was at my event, and I got a Kyrie shell reading from a sister, and I would just sit. I went back to my table. It had nothing to do with Tahuti, the reading. But I went back to my table and I literally was just sitting there, and something in my mind just kept saying, "It's your time. It's your time." So I was like, I think Tahuti who wants me to work with him, mind you, and like when I vent, I do have the ancient deity statue on my tables. So I was like, I think Tahuti wants me to work with him. I no lie. 1 minute later, this guy come to my table and say, "Oh, is that Thoth?" and point to Tahuti's statue. And then he showed me this big tattoo on his arm of Tahuti, and I said, "Yup." Mm-hmm. I think I'm supposed to work with Tahuti. And then guess what? It was May. So I was like, well, I'll work with Tahuti in June, right? While I come home and I said, let me find out if Tahuti is in session for June. Why was Tahuti in session in the calendar for June? I didn't even know that Tahuti. It was May, bro. So this was how May was looking. It was Haruka Huti, okay? I didn't even look to see anybody else yet. Okay, July we are in Seker. But like at the end of the day, I was like, yo, like when like the spiritual life be talking to me, in real life be talking to me, because I was just like, hey, yo, let me find out. All right, so Tahuti wanted my undivided attention. Period. Like Tahuti wanted me to be focused and let go any all distractions, especially if they wasn't serving my highest, my greatest good, and to be tunnel focused on gaining more medicine, because I literally just graduated from my shaman course, and then I had like a period of a week, week and a half, 2 weeks. I would say a week and a half, a period of week and a half, and then June. So I worked with Tehuti like June 6th, because that's when he came into session after the new moon. So so I respect the deity a lot, and I've learned a lot on my quest working with Tahuti. Everybody is going to have a different experience. So my experience might not be like your experience, right? But like as I continue to grow and elevate on my in my spiritual path, in my spiritual life, I understand that I am really guided by the divine. Okay, like so, um, I was really like at first, like I was really I ain't gonna say shocked, but I was like surprised, because I'm like, wow, Tahuti keeps showing up in my life, and he really want me to work with him. So I do believe that I should work with this powerful deity. So I really felt honored, because like Tahuti is top tier, top three. Okay, so I really felt real life honored to work with Tahuti. That I was chosen, because I was chosen. Like when I worked with my yacht last year, right? I ain't gonna lie, I was like a little sad, because like I would usually every June I try to work with a deity, but like for a while I was working with Sekhmet, but like I was like I used the pendulum to see which deity to work with in June last year, and it said to work with my yacht. But I knew that my yacht was a really like light as a feather type of energy, all heart space, yo. And I was just like, oh, oh no. But I was still honored to work with my yacht. So the fact that Tahuti wanted me to guided me to work with him this year, it was a blessing, because like I said, I was going through like my breakup or whatever, and like it helped me like overcome that a bit. It helped me, because it kind of distracted me from that into hyper focus on myself, my knowledge, my growth, my spirituality. Say I still thought about that, but it was more so like at. And one thing that Tahuti left me with is to learn the universal laws and to master them. So now daily I listen to the universal laws as well, and do my best to master them. So I'll just play it 3 times, so I could try to just have it recycling in my psyche or whatever. And I'm also learning the Metanetor Oracle system. And I have my own shamanic stone Oracle system that I recreated to make it better understanding for me, and I made oracle cards for that too. So I'm learning different oracle systems on top of me already being a reader, already being a spiritualist, and continuously growing within my spirituality. I know that what I do is not for everybody, and I know that I'm not for everybody, and nor do I try to be for everybody. I'm just here to give you the message and to give you the experience of how it worked for me. So if you was called to work with this powerful deity, because not everyone is called, but people just do things, right? So if you were called to work with this powerful deity, make sure you come clean and respect it, okay? This isn't a deity to play with, because he might not even show himself to you in the meditations when you do the mantras, okay? You might have to be okay with gaining a message from another source, an ancestor, a spirit guide, but it might not be this deity that's going to show up, okay? So I'm just saying, you have to really be ready to work with Tahuti. All right, so if you are going to work with them, or you are being called to work with Tahuti, get ready to learn a lot. Get ready to be very disciplined, and get ready to be heightened spiritually, and really appreciate it, because if he choose you, that is a victory in itself. All right, y'all. So that is my take on working with this powerful deity, Tehuti, Thoth, Hermes, whatever you know him by. All right. If I missed anything, please make sure you comment below. Or if you ever worked with Tehuti, please share your experience. Get your magic up. Get your knowledge up, babes. It is time. All right. Peace, love, and light. Follow for more.